Good afternoon. I am freshly barbered and ready to do battle with podcasting. I'm going to have to tidy up my hair though, because it's gone a little bit sort of unmanageable, ironically. So I just jumped on because I was like, oh no, it's time. I'm nearly done with show prep, so that's good. Yes, I'll have to get a comb. So I will vacate the premises shortly for a little bit and then come back. We got a nice one today. I think it's the last few have been quite listically. You know, they've been listicles. And this one is a little bit less so. It's still sort of, my structure is quite sort of bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. But I think it will be less breathless and a bit more sort of chill today. A chill vibe. So that is the plan. My belly started rumbling, so that means it's noon. We've got work to do today, so I might give myself a very quick groom. And also, I think, I got a bit of coffee left. That'll do fine. In the fancy mug that keeps my coffee warm, because I am a fancy boy. I'm a fancy duchess. So if you are joining me, feel free to pop a note in the chat to say hello and maybe where you're coming in from. We will get ourselves underway in about 13 minutes. I will start recording the actual episode. But yes, a little bit of prep still to do. Not much, actually. We're mostly sort of there. I just need to finish writing a little bit about my extra shot. And I need to write the brief cold open. So what I'll do is I'll pop up the little message right now to say I'm working. So, if you come in and you're like, he's not speaking, it's because I'm just finishing stuff off. No, I keep pressing that one, and that's not the music that we want.
That one makes.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm just pressing buttons on the thing because one of these makes music happen. Yeah. more like it. I don't think I have particularly good music loaded up on this thing. It's my little machine. All right, I said I was going to write, so let's write. Let me finish off what I'm writing here. So I'm talking about a newsletter called The Weekly Tweak. Oh, gosh. Yep, get the yawning out of the way. The Weekly Tweak. One podcast tip every week to refine your show over time. That is so much in my wheelhouse. It's like it was made for me. And of course, I've already subscribed. Link is in the show notes. Go check it out. So let's make sure we put that in. The Weekly Tweak podcast newsletter. Beautiful. All right. Right. So all we need to do now is write our little intro here. Coming up today. How? Coming up today, why playing with others can be so much more fun. even if you can't make them do the thing the way you want them to. That's the secret of collaboration, is getting people to do a thing with you, but realizing that you can't make them do the thing exactly the way that you do it. Cool. All right. So that's all very good. That's all very good and well. Oh gosh, yep. Get the yawning out of the way. And I think we are set. I think we've got an episode written. Well done, us. Proud of us. We did it, guys. All right, let me go and quickly fix my hair, and I'll be back in just a tick. And I will put that little bit of music on. Right. I wasn't making a potato. I was fixing my hair. You know, silk purse, sow's ear, all that stuff. But at least it's a little less distracting, perhaps. All right. Marvelous. I'm a beautiful princess. I'm a bit coffee today. My barber gave me an Iranian sweet, by the way. I think it was because I was a very good boy. He made me cry because you get to a certain age, there are bits of you that become hairy. That sounds ruder than I mean. I just got some nose hair and ear hair, just, waxed off. Because, as I say, you get to an age, brought. It does bring tears to the eyes, but I'm a man and I took it. I'm a big grown boy and I took it very well. So he gave me a sweetie. I like the fact that my boo mom just made a sort of. Oops, no, wrong word. Damn it! I was doing so well. My boo mom made a sort of noise when I moved it there, just as a kind of a mock sympathy. Right. So the one thing we got to do before we crack on is make the episode artwork. So for that, I'm going to create a new tab group because I've got too many things in this tab group. I'm going to go to Unsplash. And what do we think about collaboration? Where do we go? Let's just see what. First off, let's just have a look and see what Unsplash comes up with when we look at collaboration. And there we are. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's all a bit networky, isn't it? Which is fair enough. And I've been kind of looking for networky things a fair bit. I don't know why there's Matrix. I heard that called Digital Rain last week, which I quite like. And I found out how it was made, and I can't remember now. Jigsaw thing isn't bad. But yeah, this is all sort of that's an interesting image. I see where they're going with the rowing. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. What do we think? Collaboration. It's more like I want to really get into more the play aspect of it. Let's see what we've got in terms of play. And also, thank you, Amazon, for notifying me of a shipment that is arriving. I've got a pet brush on the way. Finally, after seven, nearly 8 years of having 2 cats, I've decided it's finally time to get a brush for one of them because he's a big hairy boy. Yeah, there's nothing completely. What's the phrase? Nothing sticking out at me at the moment. What's going on there? Ooh. It won't let me zoom in much. There we go. Right. Yeah, that's not what I was thinking. That's not bad, actually. A couple of hands, and we've got sort of. I like the fact that it's kind of multicolored blocks. The hands are very, tiny baby hands. Actually, if I just look for coloured blocks, let's have a look. Or let's do the American spelling. Coloured bricks, like Lego. Basically, Lego is what we're looking for, isn't it? Let's just search for Lego. That is actually that will be pretty good because if we've got the multicoloured kind of thing, that's a bit too busy. That kind of does get us closer to what I'm thinking. Oh no, that's no. I like that, but I wonder if I can make that work if it's big enough. Let's have a look. Let's open up Sketch. And let's see if I can make that work in my podcast art. So let us switch over. Hi, the browser crashed. Yeah, the browser crashed on me while I was doing a screen share. Let's try it once more. And then obviously if it happens again. There we go. All right. And pop that in. There we go. Okay, cool. It's the same image. I want that one. Right. Oh, yeah, it's nice and big, so that's good. It's a good big high res image because, if we do something like that or something like, ooh, you see where I'm going with this? You get it. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Kind of got that kind of playful feel. Stop, collaborate, and listen. I mean, it's got to be done. You get it. You know. That is a lovely big high res image, isn't it? It's a big boy. Okay. Oh, and time is ticking. It is about time. Time is ticking, chicken. See, it doesn't look quite so cool here because we haven't got the sort of curviness, but good enough for our purposes. I wonder actually if I just do a little bit of that, just sort of cheeky. I'm trying to, as you can probably tell, I'm trying to get the angles to line up of that red cube. That's fine. That's fine. As I say, we can overthink this. Make sure the spelling's right. Cool. All right. Let's quickly export those images, and so they're done and ready to go in the folder. Just dragging them into my image compressor. And I can now pop those in my folder. Lovely. Okay. And with that, we can begin the episode. If you have things that you want to talk about, if questions, stuff comes up, any thoughts, then you know where to find me. Then drop them in the chat, and we'll have a chat about them afterwards. Okay. All that remains for me to do is to open a new project in my audio editor, my video editor. And collaboration is the title. Don't do that voice. I'm now going to put myself on Do Not Disturb because I take myself off it for some reason. Groovy. And there's my face being ready to record. All right. Let's bloody well do this. He says, and he's still got things to adjust. Okay. Brill. Right, here we go. In 3, 2. Coming up today, why playing with others can be so much more fun, even if you can't make them do the thing the way you want them to do it. Welcome to Morning Creative. I am Mark Steadman, and I've had some of the most fun I've ever had collaborating with others. I started a show in 2017 with my friends called Beware of the Leopard. In 2019, I joined an improv group. I actually sort of co-founded it, called OK Stop. One of the people that I co-founded it with invited me to do some voice work for an animation that he was working on, which was about a sentient and then depressed tube of toothpaste. I also voiced a sea shanty with some of my friends that I did the podcast with. That was all about Jackie Weaver. And I recorded a version of Don't Stop Believing during the pandemic with my family because we were all stuck in our homes and I was going insane. All right, with that, quick, feeling a bit weepy today. Okay. So collaborations are useful for so many things and in so many ways. They stretch us to do new things and to try stuff that we maybe didn't think was possible or didn't know we might really enjoy and actually be good at. And they make our own projects better. They teach us things about other people's crafts as well, and they can expose us to new audiences. And it's just grown-up playtime, and there's always a reason for more grown-up playtime, I think. And it offers a bit of a break from the usual. You know, whatever it is you usually do, it gives you a chance to have a play and do something different. So where can we find some people to collaborate with? For me, I'm thinking out in the real world, you've got classes and courses. That's how I've met quite a few people. Social media absolutely can do this as well, but I think it takes a bit longer because you've got to build that bond. Whereas if you start meeting people and you study something together, whether it's maybe improv or a life drawing class, you know, something like that, as long as that's something you're interested in, you are then more likely to hopefully meet one or two people there that you might want to do something with and have a bit of fun with. Meetups, you know, a similar kind of thing. If you're going to them regularly, maybe you see someone and get chatting about their work and you find it interesting, you like the work that they do, and you think, oh, actually, maybe as we could work on something. And I think this works a lot better if you have a specific project in mind. You know, if you're going to approach someone to collaborate with, it's a lot easier if you can think, this is, the thing that I want to make, and I need some help in creating that vision, if you like, or bringing it to life. I think it's a lot harder if you just sort of go, I want to collaborate with someone, I want to dance with somebody who loves me. It can be a little bit trickier to find that person. If if you're just thinking I should collaborate, it's having something in mind and then thinking who is going to complement the skills that I've got. That is the best way to get into this, I think. And we'll talk about this as we go through, but I think one of the key things there is don't keep your ideas too rigid. If you do have an idea for something that you want to make, try and hold it relatively loosely because it's going to change. And it's worth remembering or thinking about, is this a full-on partnership or are you being a little bit more directorial? And kind of to that end, I think there is a difference here and a thing that we need to be aware of in terms of whether we're going for a full collaboration where we're all pitching in and we're all doing our part and creating our thing and using our voice, or do you just want a favor from someone? Because that's completely fine. If basically the way I look at this is if you're telling someone not to do something, then that's not really a collaboration. If you're not going to give other people credit, that's also not a collaboration. And there may be legitimate reasons why you're not doing that. But that then is more into you're just asking someone for a favor territory. Or maybe it's, there is a bit more of a quid pro quo kind of arrangement there versus something that is a bit more open and a bit more free and a bit more, has a bit more equilibrium to it. Again, I think both are fine, but you need to be aware of those boundaries, for a very short time, I was a sidekick on someone's live stream, and they said, "Don't use your last name. Don't talk about any stuff that you do." That it was basically the him show, which is again like absolutely fine, but he set that boundary right from the beginning, rather than expecting me to know that and then me accidentally crash into it, And so then it's like, okay, I'm doing him a favor, and that's absolutely fine, and it's fun. I still enjoy it. It's not like I've sacrificed, 90 minutes of my time and he should be grateful. No. But it is just, it's a slightly different thing here. I don't get that much out of it other than it's fun to have a laugh and a joke for 90 minutes. It's not going to expose me to a new audience. It's not going to help really forward my creative career, but it's fun to hang out for 90 minutes. And so that's fine. Ideally, I think you both should be able to say, I made this, and be right. I think if that's what you've got, if you can, if both or all parties can say, I made this thing, and that be true, without someone else going, did you, or did you just do a bit on it? If that feels true, then you've got a real collaboration on your hands. So some things to bear in mind, I think. If it is a true collaboration, like I said, you have to be okay with it going a different way from maybe what you imagined. You can influence, but it's not wholly your project necessarily unless you set that intention right from the beginning. I think if we think about collaborations, sometimes collaborations just happen organically and maybe you almost kind of wander in or stumble into one. But often, I think usually one person goes to another person or to a party and says, I would like to do something with you. And at that point, you've then got to think about who is taking ownership and is there some directorial status, if you like, that needs to be set up here. I think if not, then you have to be willing to give up some control. And if you find that difficult, then, maybe what you are asking for is a bit more of a favor. If you've got a clear picture of a thing in your mind of like, this is how I want it to look, then you're either directing someone and they need to be okay with that. This is not necessarily a complete egalitarian or completely democratic environment. It's like, no, like, yes, this is a collaboration, but I am in charge. You need to be able to set that right from the beginning so that everybody knows. And if that doesn't quite... no, I think that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And projects can. That said, like collaborations can be made up of 2 or 3 people or more where they all have equal weight. It doesn't necessarily mean that someone has to be in charge. There's a podcast, a weekly podcast that I listen to. It's all about tech, and it's hosted by 3 people, and each one of them is in charge. One is in charge of the edit. One is in charge of the running order, preparing what they're going to talk about, and then the other one actually drives the show and keeps it running. And so you sort of notice that pattern as it goes. And so each one has got their bit of the process kind of locked up, but it's very much all 3 of them would say, this is a podcast I make, and they would be completely right. It is a true collaboration. There is not one person in that partnership that really owns the product, if you like. So speaking of the product, what happens if you end up making something with a partner? What happens if you collaborate with someone and then you don't like what comes out of it? I think this is tricky, and I don't know if there's a simple answer to this, but it's on my mind. So if you want me to dig into this deeper and actually do some research and do some big thinking about it, then let me know. Mark@morningcreative.fm is my email address. But to me, it does suggest maybe you need a clearer vision for the project, because it's probably you who's come to the project, right? I mean, if someone's come to you and you've collaborated with them on a thing, and then you're like, oh, I don't really love the output of this, then that's a slightly different question and could be a whole topic in and of itself as well. Like, you know, how do you navigate that kind of nicely? You know, you've lent your voice, or you've lent your skills or something to something, and then what comes out at the end like is not something that necessarily you feel represents you. That's a whole other thing to navigate. But if it's a project that you've directed, if you like, if you are the person who's set up this collaboration and you don't really love what's come out of it, then I mean, I don't know if I have any advice for you right now, but something to think about so that you don't get into that position is making sure that you are clear right from the beginning, and perhaps you do need to take that directorial role and make sure everybody's happy to say, listen, I want you involved, I want your input, but ultimately I want to be able to have final say. Is that cool? Like, I've kind of got a vision for what this looks like. I can kind of see it in my mind. I'm definitely open to what you think and ways that you can make it better, because you've got better idea. You know, maybe you've got a better idea than I have, but ultimately I need to be able to say, this is the direction that we're setting for the project. Are you cool with that? You know, if you just set that intention right from the beginning and kind of be direct about it, then that saves so much more worry later on of like, why is this guy like, I'm trying to do my thing and he keeps changing it, you know? If you've set that intention right from the beginning, it makes it a lot easier. Right, okay. Ooh. It's going to be a short one today, mercifully short, which is good. Excusez-moi. So what projects have you got in mind? Is there something missing in your work currently? Is there an idea that you like to get off the ground, but it's not necessarily something that can work alone? And if that's the case, maybe a collaboration is on the cards, but it's just important to have that question in mind. How much control are you prepared to give up? So, short one today, mate. So nice and short one today. We've had quite a few sort of big, listicle type episodes with lots of things to think about. So it's nice to have one that's a little bit more of a chill vibe. So that is it. Now, for my extra shot, this is something that I want to let you know about that I think you might find useful. If you were a podcaster, then check out The Weekly Tweak, which is Ashley Hamer's newsletter. It's one podcast tip every week to refine your show over time. This is so much in my wheelhouse. This is why I'm already a subscriber, because I'm all about like, what are the small tweaks that we can do? What's one thing we can do, which of course we will get to in a moment. What is one thing we can do every day to just nudge us along and just get us that little bit better over time? If you've got something that you want to share with the class, then drop me an email, mark@morningcreative.fm. Now we move on to a comment from Brendan, who got in touch to say, great comments about the glorious Enneagram. Your number is based on your intention and not your actions, so it can be tricky for an online test to accurately type a person. This is Mark dropping back in again to say this was on, of course, the discussion on the Enneagram from last week, and how this personality test and how the different numbers may influence how we approach creative work. And then Brendan goes on to say, consider learning a bit more about each type, using the wings and stress or security numbers to help triangulate and type yourself. So he's sort of making the case here for learning a bit more, obviously, about the Enneagram, if it's something that you're curious about, as a way of understanding your attitude to creativity and what you might need from a creative project, what you might need in this case from a collaboration. So learning a bit more about that if you're curious, and perhaps rather than diving into a test, maybe sitting down with a practitioner and getting them to have some sessions with you. I think this is not something that gets done in 15 minutes or even an hour. It might take a few sessions, but it will yield something a lot more accurate. That said, there are some really accurate tests out there as well, but you might need to work with someone first to get access to those, because they can be expensive. But yeah, either way, it's something to really dig into if you find it interesting. So thank you, Brendan, for your comment. You can drop me any comments that you have. Always happy to hear them. Oh dear, I've gone very, very thin and hoarse. Ooh. Settle. I've sort of gone up here and I need to just come down. So thank you, Brendan, for that comment. And of course, at Hello Stedman is where you can find me online if you have got anything of your own. Now, next time, we're going to look at increasing your luck surface area. I said look as in luck. Now, next time, we're going to look at increasing your luck surface area. What does that mean? Why is it awesome? Because it kind of is. And how do we do it? So that is for tomorrow. Now, if you do one thing today, think about a project that's outside of your comfort zone. What would you like? What would you want to make if only you had that one missing skill? Search your contacts or your social media friends and see if you can find someone that you can collaborate with, and ask them, do you want to play with me? Cool. That is a short one today, which I think is nice. It's good because gives it a little bit more breathing room, and it gives us, because as I say, they've been pretty big. So that's 16 minutes. I don't know that there's masses to cut from that. A couple of false starts and pauses and things, but yeah, nice. All right, I think we might get this one out and into the world in decent time. So I'm pleased about that. Yeah, as I was putting it together, I was kind of like, this is nice. This is a bit more. It's a little bit more where I want to be. I think is like it doesn't always have to be bam, bam, bam. Do this, try this. There's lots of ideas. Here's 10 things. It's kind of nice to just be. Here's some things to think about today, and go off and enjoy your day. All right. Well, with that, I will. I think I will pack us up here, and thank you for your time. Ooh. And this episode should be out. Where are we now? Oh, actually, it's Monday. I think it's out. Yeah. I think I knew that when I said it. I believe it's Monday or Tuesday. Let's have a look. Monday, the last week of Feb. We haven't got many more episodes on Connection left, and then we go into Catalyst. Oh, I've got lots planned for Catalyst, so that'll be good. All right, listen, you. Thank you for your time. This has been lovely, and we shall meet again tomorrow, where we are talking about luck surface area. So, in the meantime, have a wonderful day.